We're on the air. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Digging for Gold. Chris, Bill, welcome. Looks like we have a small crowd tonight. Um, you know what I'm going to do, and I'm not even sure with you two. I'm not even sure that we need to do very much of this. I was going to summarize what we've taught on Twitter for the last bunch of weeks that we were doing it late last year. And this is going to be the last one of the Digging for Gold series. I'm going to cut the series, and just because I want to open up the space to do other things, and that's it. So, and I'm also doing the corporate webinar at 6, and and I have to start the webinar myself tonight. So we're going to wrap this up pretty early, and anyhow, I hope you can hear and see me. I'm assuming you can. Somebody in the chat, Bill, Chris, somebody say, "Yep, we hear you, we see you." And let's do a quick recap of. And actually, Bill, I should probably have you come over and do this. You're better at it than I am. At least you're certainly more experienced. But so feel free to jump in if you want to. Anyhow. Chris says yes. I'm going to assume that means you can hear and see me, Chris. And we're going to go present to everyone. And there we go. And what I want to do is close Facebook just so I get my bandwidth on. Twitter. I'm going to go to Twitter right now. So one of the things we did in the last near the end of the year, November, December timeframe, is I had an old Twitter account, Len Mooney at Len Mooney 5839, which we started to work with, and then I also generated a brand new Twitter account. So for those of you who are watching the replay here, if you have a couple, we're not going to go through the basics of setting up Twitter accounts. We're going to assume by this point that you know how to do that, and if you need more information on how to do it, I don't remember how many videos there are out there in this Digging for Gold series, but we've been doing the series since July 4th, I think, or 5th was the first one, and we did it every week. So there's well over 20 videos of training out there, how to set up your Facebook accounts, how to set up your Twitter accounts, and things like that. So I have 2 Twitter accounts. And I've been slowly building the accounts up. I got 4,300 followers on this. Now, I know that's nowhere near what Bill has on his, but to be quite honest with you, I haven't been working on this account since, certainly since before Christmas. I've just started this week to get back onto Twitter again, to be very honest with you. And I'm going to log out of this account, and I'm going to go ahead and log into my other Twitter account, which is the Organic Lin account. That's the new one that I started right after we started this series. We started a brand new account. Oh, stop it. Of course, the username and password did not match our records. Matched them last night. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's got a wrong passwords there. So you can see how much progress I've made with this one too. I've only got 342 followers here, and we started with 0, of course. And I've been gradually building the account, but again, I haven't done much with it since the middle of December, and just starting to get back on it this week. And the thing about it is, if you want to see what's really going on, if you want to see what's really going on with your account, you can. Once you've got over 100 followers, and we determined we had to have 100, you can go to analytics, which I just did, and look them over there, and we can see what's going on, and we can look at our followers, and you can see that I was getting some nice growth back here in early January, and then it jumped up, and we're getting a little bit of growth, and then it plateaued. And again, this is just me being inconsistent with doing this every day. So there are 2 things that we want to know about working with Twitter. One is, let's go back to to the account itself. One is into the account, and I mean you can come out here and you can post all day, every day if you want to, or you can set up an auto posting system. So we've set up an auto posting system, and the one we chose to use is, I'm going to close the audience insights. The one we chose to use is Social Jukebox. Okay, socialjukebox.com. And again, we're not going to go through setting up Social Jukebox. We have that in a couple of other trainings. If there's anybody who wants or can't find the trainings for how to do that, just ask me and I'll help you go back and find it. So what we've done is we've set up Social Jukebox, and I have set it up with 3 different accounts. And if you look here, I have the Len Mooney 5839, which was the first Twitter account we looked at a moment ago. Then I have my organic Len count, which is the second Twitter account. And I also have Facebook set up in here. Now, this is the least expensive of the Social Jukebox accounts, but it is not a free account. I think I honestly don't remember, it's either $10 or $20 a month. But so what we've done here is we've set up jukeboxes. And what is a jukebox? Well, most of us know what a jukebox is. You go into the bar and you put your quarter in the jukebox, or maybe you put $1 in these days. I have no idea how much a jukebox costs, and it has stacks and stacks and stacks of records there. So that's exactly what these things are. The Best of Wayne Dyer, for example, has, if I look at that jukebox, it has, I don't know how many different quotes in it, and these are all Wayne Dyer quotes. So I can look at the jukebox library, and I can select, and we have selected, I don't know how many jukeboxes there are out here in the library, but we can select them. And I've selected a couple that I happen to like. I selected Wayne Dyer and I've selected Tony Robbins. And the reason is that I just happen to like Wayne Dyer and Tony Robbins. So, and one could argue that maybe I'm using Wayne Dyer and Tony Robbins because I like them, and maybe I ought to think about what my customers like. But hey, most of the people I know like Wayne Dyer and Tony Robbins. So these guys have some interesting quotes. Plus, there's a free quote jukebox that you can start with the free version of this thing. You can start with the free quote jukebox. It has 200 quotes in it, and you can get up and running on day one with a free version of my jukebox and a free quote jukebox running. The other thing that I've done is I've added a jukebox that I call Len's Blog, and I have been uploading some of my blog posts to it. So for those of you who have a blog, one of my blog posts is a Tony Robbins blog, so that's why the Tony Robbins is showing there. It has nothing to do with the Tony Robbins jukebox we looked at a minute ago. So one of the things you can do is you can be posting from your blog into your jukebox, and that's pretty gosh darn easy to do. Let me go to my blog. By the way, I'm about to do something that I haven't practiced in a long time, so we'll see if I can screw this up and make a mess out of the whole webinar. But it's pretty easy to add new things to these jukeboxes. So here's my blog. I go to posts, go to all posts, and here's a post that I added yesterday. What is success? And I'm just going to, the easy thing for me to do is just view the post and grab the link, copy the link, and come back here to my jukebox and add it. I'm going to add a new post, and I'm going to paste it in, and I'm all done. I can now submit that. Now, what I didn't do is add a figure for the post, and I can do that too by simply going to Browse, going over to my computer, finding whatever figure I want to add for it, and adding it in there. So really quite elementary to build these jukeboxes up. So that's how we're posting. I don't know if I want to take the time right now to go browse and look for the picture for this. So I'll just put it in there without a picture for right now. But it's now been added to the jukebox. And there it is. And I'll come back later and put the picture in. Hopefully I'll remember to do that. But now the other thing you're going to want to worry about then is scheduling these things. So there is an auto scheduler, and there's also a 26-minute or so video that goes through the elementaries, the fundamentals of social jukebox. But you come out here to the auto scheduler and you basically tell it how many posts a day you want from each one of these jukeboxes. You give it a start time and an end time. You tell it what days you want it to post, and then you click save, and it computes the whole thing for you. And I'm not going to demonstrate that because sometimes it gets a little cranky, to be honest with you. The auto scheduler, I've had it be a little cranky with me a couple times where it took me a few iterations to get what I wanted. So I'm not going to screw with the auto poster here, but it's there. And with a little bit of screwing around, you can make it work. And after you've got the auto poster making a schedule for you, you can come over to the visual schedule and you can see what it looks like. So on today, I had a quote from the free quote jukebox at 0 o'clock, that's midnight. Then I had one from Len's blog at 1:30, and I had a capture page at 3 o'clock. So I have, and I'll come back to that in a minute, and then et cetera, et cetera. So there's my posting schedule for the day. If you want to post more often, you just go back to the auto scheduler, tell it to post more often. So that's a pretty straightforward thing to do too. Now the capture pages, let's look at these jukeboxes again. The capture pages are just some, and they are just that. They are nothing but these are capture pages. So for example, I have the capture page here for the silent soak funnel, which those of you who are in Asante or are familiar with, and I have one for the closing magnet and one for the Partner Pro system. Now, when you talk about posting, you want to post a lot of value and a little bit of salesy stuff. This is the little bit of salesy stuff. These things are capture pages, as opposed to the Wayne Dyer quotes and the my blog posts and etc., which are all just what's the word I'm looking for? Content. You know, best of Wayne Dyer, best of Tony Robbins. That's all content. But Len's blog is pretty much all content. Of course, if you go into the blog posts, they all have capture pages in them, or they have a way to get to capture pages at least, but they really are content. And of course, the free quote jukebox is content, but the capture pages really are that. They are capture pages. So if you look at my schedule, I've only got 3 capture pages in here right now, and on the auto scheduler, I think that I've only got the capture pages going out like 3 times a day. So right now I've got 17 total daily quotes going out, but only 3 of them are capture pages. The rest are content. That's probably not posting often enough. I probably ought to increase that, but that's what I have going right now. Okay, so that's pretty much social jukebox. That's a quick summary of what we've been doing with social jukebox, and that's how we're getting our quotes on. And as I mentioned to you, I've also got my Facebook account in here. So if we go over to the Facebook account, you'll see that I've only got a couple jukeboxes in the Facebook account. I've got my blog there, and I've got the free jukebox there. And if we look at the auto scheduler, I'm only scheduling, I think, a total of 4 times a day to Facebook. I really don't want any more posts than that going out to Facebook. So so my fan page is getting, or my timeline is getting 4 posts a day right now. So that's pretty much social jukebox. If I knew where to find it, and I actually don't, I would show you you would think that it would be easier to find the different um, price points or price plans for Social Jukebox. You would think you would have it in here somewhere. It would be easier to find, but it isn't. At any rate, I think there's 4 different price plans for Social Jukebox. There's a free one, which it's really quite limited. But if you've never used Social Jukebox, there's no reason to pay for anything. Just get the free one and get started with it. And then when you're ready, go ahead and upgrade to one of the paid versions. I'm just looking here real quick to see if I can see a link onto the paid versions and show you what they are, and I can't. I don't see it right now, but I'm sure you can find it just by simply going to probably can find it by going to socialjukebox.com. Nope, it's bringing me right back in. Okay, well, let's leave that alone for right now for the sake of time. Those of you who are on here don't need it anyhow. I don't think. Nope. Bill, do you remember where the I suppose if I log out and then just go socialjukebox.com, it's going to give me. You would think here at least it would give me the options. Now it's taking me right back in. That's interesting. It's trying to make my life easy, and it's not making it easy for me to show you what I wanted to show you. I just quite honestly don't know where to find it, and I'm not going to spend any more time with it. I'll leave this open for right now. Bill, maybe in the chat, you may know where to find it. If you do, put it up in the chat, and we might come back to it if we have time. So the first thing we're doing then is we're using Social Jukebox for posting to Facebook and also to Twitter. That's where we're getting our posts from. Now, I know a lot of people have been training with Mark Lalonde, and Mark is using something else. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, and it's okay. You use whatever Mark's using if you're training with Mark and you want to use it. Social Jukebox is what Adam Chandler is using, and that's why I started with it, because that's what Adam Chandler's been using, and I started into Twitter with Adam. So what's the other thing we have to do? Well, the other thing we have to do is we have to get followers. So we are using Status Brew. And how do we do that? Well, the version of Status Brew I have lets me have a couple of accounts and a couple of sources. So as you saw, I had 2 different Twitter accounts. And what is a source account? A source account is people that you might want to follow. I happen to have Todd and Leah Ray in here in Plum Organics right now, but you might want to get rid of Todd and Leah Ray, and let's say, for example, and you know, I don't want to get rid of it right now, but you might want to get and put in a different source. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I believe I'm only allowed to have 2 sources with the version of Status Brew that I have. But what we're going to do is we're going to use these sources to feed these accounts. So for example, I can take Plum Organics, which is obviously about organics, and that's the one that I've been using to feed my Organic Len account. So how does that work? So I just clicked on Plum Organics and told it to feed the told it to feed the Organic Len account, and now I choose all followers. So I'm going to choose all followers, and these are all followers that are following the Plum Organics account. I'm going to choose a filter that we created some time ago, and I'm not going to go through the details of creating the filter right now. That is in another post, and it's not that particularly hard to figure out. It's in another training, and it's not that particularly hard to figure out. This is syncing up right now, and it's going to take it a few seconds to do that. And once it does that, there's another little trick here, and that is that Todd and Leah Ray taught us about a little trick that you can hold down the control key and then just hold your thumb on the mouse, and the mouse will keep clicking automatically. For those of you who didn't understand what I just said, I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that. So let me let this thing go ahead and continue to load. Da 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 da. Da. I could sing to you. We could sing. We could sing. We could sing. Okay, we're loaded. So the filter that I had previously saved was, it's only showing people that I can follow. It's excluding previously followed people. So anyone that I followed in the past is excluded. It's got only people that have tweeted, the people that have to have tweeted within the last 15 days, basically. If they haven't tweeted within 15 days, they're not active. We're not interested in them. And this is a random number. I think Todd and Leah use a smaller number than that. I don't remember, to be honest. They have public profiles, and we've selected 2 languages, and those 2 languages happen to be English and English. So it's British English and American English. So here's people that we can follow. And what are we doing here? This is the same strategy that we taught in Facebook, when it's in a slightly different wrinkle to it. But we're following people, and we're waiting to see if they follow us back. That's all we're doing. So we're going to sit here and we're going to follow, and see it's counting. Now, if I hold my thumb down, nothing happens. I have to. You can't see this, but I'll make the noise. You have to click the mouse every time you want to follow somebody. And if you're going to follow 1,000 people a day, that can get pretty gosh darn tiring. So we have this thing called auto hotkey. We have this thing called auto hotkey, and it was a little script program that let us program the mouse. And there is a training on how to do that, and it's back in come on, it's back in the lists of webinars that we've done, trying to get it to show up. There it is. So we created a little script program called Rapid Follow, and let me just click on it. It loads the program. And what happens now is we've now programmed the mouse. So watch, when I push the control key and I hold the left mouse button down, you see what it's doing. And you can see the counter up here running up. So now it's going to get up to 120 people here in just a moment. It's followed 120 people. And there we go. And when it hits 120, it's going to stop us. There's some number right around in here. There we go. There's some number right around in here where we hit a Twitter limit. It's typically about 120, and it says we're being limited. Now, we are allowed to follow up to 1,000 people a day, but we can't follow them all at one time. So now we have to just take a break and go get a drink of water, pour some coffee, do something. And when we come back in a few minutes, we'll be able to sit here and we'll be able to follow some more people. I didn't wait long enough, so I just got to wait. We just got to wait a little while longer, and then come back and we can follow some more. Now, in fact, if you look at that message that came up, let me see if I can force it up again. Come on. Don't stop that. Now, you're not going to get in trouble for doing this, by the way. It is status brew. Oh, that's all it has for me. All right. It's status brew that's throwing up the limit. And you're not getting in trouble with Twitter by doing this. That's all we have for you right now. So I guess we're done. Okay. And then the other thing we can do then is we'll go to that account, go to Organic Len, and we will unfollow. So we're going to select on the people that are not following me back. And we are going to do rapid unfollow, and we're going to exclude people that we've followed in the last, arguably, I think I was using 10 days. If I followed them within the last 10 days, then I don't want to unfollow them. Now, since I haven't been doing much following recently, there's not going to be very many here, but again, we'll hit our control key and we'll just sit here and unfollow. So all we're looking for is to collect the people that follow this. And why are we doing that? Let me just stop that. Why are we doing that? Down here under automate, what we have done is we have set up some things so that when somebody follows us, they automatically get a direct message back. Thanks for the follow. As a token of my appreciation, here's a copy of a free report, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm doing now is sending them a free report about, in this case, about toxins in our environment. And so what we're doing is hopefully, as people follow us, they get exposed to this free report, they click on it, they become a lead. Now, not everybody that follows you is going to click on it, but what we're looking for is to collect leads. So it's that simple. The other account we have is the Len Mooney account, the 5839 account. And if I look at that one, same thing. People that I've followed in the past 10, people that I've followed in the last 10 days, I don't want to unfollow them. I want to give them some time, and then we can just unfollow everybody else. And if you look at this one, we go down to the automated settings, and here I'm sending them over to my social media book. So this account is aimed at MLM and MLSP as opposed to organics. So these people are getting access. They're getting offered a copy of my social media book. And if they click on it, put in their name, then they become a lead. Okay. How do I get them as a lead? Simple. Right there. Email. They come into email. So I'm not going to go through my email right now because I think everybody gets the idea. But the point is, again, we follow them. We can follow up to 1,000 people per day per account, and then do is go in and unfollow the people that haven't followed us. Now, if we're doing this very consistently, you're going to unfollow every day people that haven't followed you back. And I will admit that I have been less than consistent since before the holidays. So, but the people that do follow us back, they get sent to a place where they have an option of opting in to either, in this case, my social media book, or in the other case, the Silent Soak funnel. And once they opt in, they become a lead. I have my email notifications turned on. It's email me, turned on daily. So I get an email notification, and that I have a new lead. And that's the way it all works. Now, let me come back to this hotkey for just a moment. I am not going to try to train on AutoHotkey tonight. We have a training on it, as I said, and it's, back in December. We did a full training on it. In fact, I think we actually did it on Lunch with Len. I don't remember. But nevertheless, the training is out there. So if anybody wants to know how to use that, then just ask me and I'll find the training for you. Okay. Let me close some stuff down here. And actually, what I'm going to do is come up here. I'm going to stop the share. Who's here tonight? Marta. Marta. Hello, Marta. Did I do better? Did I pronounce your name correctly? Oh, okay, Bill. All right. Got it. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let me see if I can find that real quick. because I was not in my primary account. You know, and I'm actually logged into the wrong account right now, I think. So I can't get there from here. I got to log out, and I got to log back in. It's redirecting me to the wrong account again. I've got to log out. This thing leaves. There's a couple of things like this that just drive me crazy. Let me see if I can sign in with Twitter. Nope. Once you get logged out, how do you get it to log back in with the correct account? It's just logging in automatically, and that's not what I wanted to do. So there is no. Okay. Okay. We'll stop the screen share. You think so, huh? All right. Once more. See if we can figure out how to do this. Social jukebox. When I log out. Yeah, I thought I did that. Oh, I see what you see. I see what you mean. Thanks, Chris. There they are. Okay. So that's the plan. You got this free plan where you can have 2 jukeboxes, 5 targeted posts, 1 account. And I'm in the advanced plan, so 10 jukeboxes, 5,000 stored posts, 50 targeted posts, and up to 3 linked social accounts. So my 3 linked social accounts are my 2 Twitters and my 1 Facebook. So that's the account that I'm in right now. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was looking to tell you. And so what I'm suggesting is for anyone who wants to play around with this stuff, you just get a free account to get started, because that's all you really need to get started. And then you can go from there. Okay? Share, hopefully. Okay. There you go. All right. So basically what I wanted to do tonight was just put a ribbon and a bow around this whole sequence of training and just do a quick summary like we did last week for Facebook, a quick summary for what we're doing. Oh, not necessarily the more people you get, Marta, it's the more social accounts you can have and the more jukeboxes you can have. So the free account was limited to how many jukeboxes? I think 2, and I don't remember. I have to go back and look again. I mean, you can still you get your people from Status Brew. That's where you get the people from. The question is how many different posts and how many different jukeboxes you can have and how many different social media accounts you can have. So, okay. So that's it, everybody. Unless somebody has a question, I'm going to close this webinar and go try to figure out how to start the corporate webinar, because I quite frankly forget how to do it. And Jane's not going to be there tonight to hold my hand, so I have to do it all by myself. And this is going to be the last of the Diggin For Gold series. And I think we're going to start a new webinar series. I don't know. Well, I intend to start a new webinar series. I don't know when it's going to start. It won't be next week. I'm not pretty sure of that. So thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. If there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and close it down. And for those of you who can or want to, come on over to the corporate webinar, and we'll see you there. If not, we'll see you for essential oils tomorrow morning, and talk to you again. Bye for now. And you're welcome, Chris. Thank you.